Hello from Seoul. What is your favorite Korean stew? Today, I'm gonna make Sundubu Jjigae, soft tough stew. Believe it or not, it takes only 5 minutes. Also, beside the classic one, I'll show you 2 more different Sundubu Jjigae. Are you guys ready? Let's get started. Straight to the point, it is impossible to make Sundubu Jjigae from scratch in 5 minutes. Some of you might say, is it clickbait? But think about it, did I ever lie to you? There's something that makes it possible, so just follow my lead. Let's say if you have some magical seasoning paste for Sundubu Jjigae, like ramen powder, then nobody would say making soft tough stew is a big deal, right? It's like making pasta in 5 minutes using the sauce from the supermarket. So let's make the magical seasoning paste first. You will be needed Korean soft tofu, ground pork, green onion, and garlic. For ground pork, I recommend using the part with lots of fat. That way, you can get more flavorful Sundubu Jjigae. However, if you have no pork, you can go with beef. No problem at all. First, let's prep the vegetables. Chop the green onion. It is for making green onion oil, so as always, more green onion, more delicious. Please be generous. And let's chop the onion into small pieces. Now, we're gonna make the seasoning. Put 1 cup of chili pepper flakes, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of mirin, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, 2 tablespoons of fish sauce, 2 tablespoons of sesame oil, and mix it well. If it's too complicated, so you don't want to follow this step, you can use MSG or dashida, Korean beef stock. To be honest, that's gonna taste way closer to a restaurant version. That was the secret. Some of you might wanna ask, it's done, right? My answer is no, not yet. We still have an important step, which is stir frying everything we prepared with this seasoning. Put 4 tablespoons of cooking oil into a wok. Just like the kimchi stew recipe, if you add 2 tablespoons of lard here, your Sundubu Jjigae will be much more flavorful. I dare say that is one of the secrets of many restaurants. If you ever thought like, why my Sundubu Jjigae is so different from the restaurant, then you should give it a shot. But if you don't have it, forget about it. Just use cooking oil. It's alright. Also, some people might say, Aaron, I don't want lard in my food. That's not healthy. But actually, that's not true. Compared to other fats, it's healthy. Just Google it. Now, let's put 1 cup of green onions and ground pork. We need to keep stir frying it until the moisture from the meat is gone. FYI, if you don't have lard, I recommend putting the ground pork first and stir frying it for a long time to extract enough fat. Then I'm pretty sure you can still make a delicious soft tough stew without lard. Awesome, right? Add 1 cup of chopped onions and stir fry it again. The longer you stir fry onion, the better it tastes. So keep stir frying it until most of the moisture has evaporated. Plus, since we're gonna make quite a lot of amount and keep it in the fridge for a long time, there shouldn't be much moisture in it. So please keep stirring it as much as you can. Now put 1/3 cup of minced garlic and stir fry it again. I wanted to say something about garlic, but there's nothing much. Just keep stirring it. Oh, I just remember what to say. If you forgot to hit the like button, please do it. Finally, it's time to pour the seasoning. According to the original recipe, you're supposed to add each ingredient one by one while stir frying it. But as you guys already know, chili pepper flakes are really easy to burn. If your chili pepper flakes are already burned, then it's over, my friend. I have to say you already ruined it. However, if you mix everything in advance and pour it all at once, you can keep stirring it without burning it, which means you don't have to stay away from the stove looking for other ingredients. So please don't go anywhere and keep stirring it. I have done everything I can, so please do not burn the chili pepper flakes, please. I don't want to hear the comments like, Aaron, I screwed up thinking about my boyfriend or leftover sandwich in my office. Some of you might want to say, okay, I get it. I like your idea that we make seasoning paste in advance and keep it in a fridge, but isn't it too much? The reason why I make this much is that if you make one small amount like 1 or 2 servings, you will never get the taste of a restaurant version. Here's the example. I think you may have experienced the taste difference between making a lot of bolognese sauce and making less. Restaurants already know that when they make this kind of sauce or paste, all the good flavor is coming from the veggies and the meat, so they make an enormous amount of sauce and leave it for a while to extract flavor. So if you wanna recreate the flavor from the restaurant, it has to be at least 5 to 6 servings. That's a minimum. When it's done, cool it down for a while and put it in a Ziploc bag and keep it in the freezer. I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons each. I just found one more reason to make this salad. I think nobody wants to repeat this process every time they want Sundubu Jjigae. So it's better to make a lot, right? Like a squirrel? You can save Sundubu paste for the upcoming 2 or 3 months. I feel so rich. And for your information, if you have a big family, it's okay to store it in the fridge and finish it within 2 or 3 days. Now we are all set. Let's make the classic Sundubu Jjigae. Surprisingly, the most difficult thing when you make Sundubu Jjigae is deciding how much water you put. If you use this kind of Korean soft tofu, a half cup of water would be fine. It's less than you think, right? Since this silken tofu contains quite a lot of water, if you put more than this, the broth is gonna be too bland and you may see Sundubu flawed. Put 2 tablespoons of seasoning paste and boil it. Do you wanna make it really closer to a restaurant version? Then add MSG or dashida, Korean beef stock. You'll be surprised. Now it's time to add soft tofu. If it's the first time to cook this tofu, you may wonder how you open it because it looks like toothpaste or something. But you can just put it on a cutting board and cut it with a knife. So simple, right? Let's put the tofu in the pot and break down a little bit, but not too much. If you break it too much, you can't enjoy the texture. Plus, it's not pretty at all, so you can post it on Instagram. Now, as you can see, quite a lot of water comes out from the tofu. This pot didn't do any magic or something. It is from the tofu, so please put less water than you think. For making Sundubu Jjigae, this is one of the most important things. At this point, it's better to check if it's okay for you. If it's too bland, you can add more salt. If it's too salty, you can add more water. As I always say, it's not a baking class. Everybody has a different palate, so follow your heart. While it's boiling, let's prep green onion, chili pepper, and egg for the presentation. Once you see the bubbling from the stew, place the green onions and chili peppers and put an egg. Lastly, finish it off with some black pepper. That's it. It's really simple, right? For information, I'm using tukbaegi, which is a traditional Korean clay pot. So even if I serve it now, the egg is gonna be cooked eventually by the remaining heat from the pot. But if you use a normal pot, it will cool down so quickly so that the egg is not gonna fully cooked. So I recommend pouring the broth over the egg about 10 times with a spoon. That way, you will get the perfect poached egg in Sundubu Jjigae. Claire.
그냥 보기만 해도 부드러운 게 느껴진다. As soon as you put it in, it just melts in your mouth. 보기에는 엄청 마그마같이 보여가지고 엄청 매울 것 같은데 내 입맛에는 그렇게 맵지 않고 딱 적당히 맛있는 것 같아요. Guys, I have something to tell you about this Sundubu Jjigae besides the taste. When I look up the random recipe on the website, it looked very easy to make, so I tried several times, but whenever I tried it, I messed up every time. And the other day, I made it, but I felt something was kept missing, and I didn't know what to do next. So I texted Aaron, like, I gave up, do whatever you want. And when I got home, the Sundubu Jjigae turned out really great. I don't know what kind of magic he did it.
That was the MSG.
Egg over my rice. Ta-da! Oh my gosh! Woohoo! This is literally the beauty of this Sundubu Jjigae.
Let me show you some variations. To be honest, I think I cannot say it's variations because it's just boiling whatever you want with the Sundubu paste. Do you have frozen dumplings at home? No? Come on. I know you have some in the freezer. Any kind of dumplings will be fine, so dig to the bottom. Also, it doesn't matter which flavor. Just add whatever you have or whatever you like. That's it. Same as before, put a half cup of water in a pot and add 2 tablespoons of seasoning paste. Add some frozen dumplings and tofu. As you can see, my dumplings are quite small, so I don't need to boil it for a long time, but if your dumplings are bigger than mine, it's gonna take some time to be cooked, so please boil it longer. Place chopped green onions and chili peppers, and put an egg on top. Last touch with a few shakes of black pepper. That's it. Since it's as simple as making ramen, I'm gonna make one more Sundubu Jjigae. This time, let's make seafood Sundubu Jjigae. We're gonna make it in the same way. Put a half cup of water in the pot and add 2 tablespoons of seasoning paste. Sundubu Jjigae jjigae goes well with any type of seafood, which means you can use any kind of seafood you have. Even the frozen one is okay. So let's look through your freezer. In Korea, the most commonly used ingredient for seafood sundubu is this clam, but you can also add some shrimp, mussel, squid, and even oyster. So put whatever you like. Again, everybody has a different taste. I use 2 tablespoons for the standard, but depending on what you put, the broth can be bland or salty. So make sure to take a sip before you serve it and add more seasoning paste or salt if necessary. Of course, if it's too salty, add some more water. By the way, if you add soy sauce instead of salt, it can make the stew too dark. So I suggest using salt, not soy sauce. Alright, it's done. Let's go to our taste tester. Claire.
순두부찌개 2인분을 받는 사람은 나밖에 없을 것 같아, 이 세상에. Where's my mandu? Personally, this is my favorite style of 순두부찌개. I like to adding dumplings in it. Whenever I have just a plain sundubu jjigae, I feel like something is missing. So I like to put dumplings in it. And also the juice from the dumpling makes the soup more flavorful. Let me change the spoon. This time let me try seafood soft tofu stew. For your information, I don't really like seafood sundubu jjigae because of my mom's. She used to cook only with seafood, but I didn't like it. So let's see how it is. 확실히 그걸 만들어야 되네. 그 페이스트를 만들어야 되네. 국물의 깊이가 좀 다르네. 확실히 다르네. 이런 식으로 하면 나도 맛있을 것 같다. Mom, you should watch this and try this way, okay?
Today I made Sundubu Jjigae, one of the most popular Korean stew. As long as you have the seasoning paste at home, making Sundubu Jjigae is gonna be easier than making ramen. So don't be too overwhelmed, and how about trying it this weekend? It's gonna be awesome. Alright, this is it for today, and I'll see you next time.